Hi, I'm the Multifarious Fisherman. This is 7 Fish. I am here for 5 fast facts, and we're going to try to be fast. This is part of the Tip Tuesday series, Tips to Make You Dangerous. I don't do a lot of our filming indoors just because it's an outdoor channel. It's a fishing channel. It makes sense for me, I think, to be outdoors, but today we are indoors. I'm wearing a Columbia vented shirt, which I am a big fan of. Big flap in the back with venting. It's got sleeves that will roll up, and then I've got this guy. I think there's a lot of people don't have any idea what that guy or that guy there is actually for. If you're a fly fisherman, these were originally put on shirts so that you could release your fish when you're wearing your shirt outside and you're handling a fish and releasing it. You didn't have to lay your expensive fly reel down in the stream. Still put them on shirts a lot. Not many people use them for that anymore. In fact, a lot of shirts that you buy, that loop is not elastic and it's not big enough actually to hold the butt of a fly rod. But if you ever wondered what that little guy was for, now you know. I'm going to talk about Crankbait Lips. I'm going to show you a couple of different crankbaits. I think a lot of people realize that when you have a crankbait with a lip that's big, it goes pretty deep. And when you have a crankbait with a lip that's real small, it doesn't go particularly deep. What you may not know is that the angle that that lip sits has a lot to do with the depth that that bait will go as well. So the more straight down it is, the less depth you're going to get out of it. Plenty of wobble, but not as much depth. And then if you notice, this lip comes almost in line with the center of that body. That bait's really going to dig down. Obviously, big lip too. Realize that the size of the body makes this one more buoyant. So it's really fighting to get down there, and you're going to get a lot of wobble, a lot of noise, a lot of vibration, because that bait is working against the water to try to go down. Just a fun fact, something you may or may not have known. I'm going to talk about spinnerbait blades. This is a willow style blade. This is a French blade. Colorado is even more round than this. The willow blade rotates around that shaft at a pretty shallow angle. So when that's running around the shaft, it's staying pretty tight to the shaft. It doesn't fight the water as much as a fatter blade will. So this will ride more in that position, and the Colorados ride out even a little further. And the further out that rides, the more it's fighting against the water. It's pushing lateral line noise. It's not really vibration so much as it is change in water pressure. The harder something pulls when you're reeling it in, more than likely that's fighting that water and creating a pressure wave ahead of it that fish can sense in their lateral line. Something that may help you when you're selecting lures for applications. If you want to stay up over the weeds, a rounder blade will do a better job of staying up. Bigger blade and rounder blade will stay up above the weeds more. If you want to get down and fish those weed edges, a willow blade, especially a smaller willow blade with plenty of weight on it, will get down a little deeper and run at that lower level where those fish are on those weed edges. So something again to consider. Have you ever had a pair of sunglasses you're not 100% sure it was polarized? I don't know how well you're going to see this, but I'm going to do my best. And it's probably going to involve me putting a flashlight in my mouth. So if you have a pair of glasses that you know are polarized, these are my Costas. If you put those up to a light source, that light will go right through them. If you take another pair of sunglasses, whether they're polarized or not, you can still see through it. It gets darker. But if you cross them, it's going to go pretty close to black. The blacker that gets, the more kind of complete that polarization is. When you cross them over, you should be seeing very little light come in because you're blocking light coming from multiple directions. The final one that I want to talk about is when you're releasing a fish, you see a lot of people put that fish in the water and then push it forward and pull it back, push it forward and pull it back. The idea is that you're flushing water through the gills. The situation actually, when you push them forward, the mouth isn't really open. You're not pushing much water through, which is how they breathe. Water goes in the mouth and goes out the gill. When you're pulling them backwards, the gills flare out and you're pushing a lot of water forward through those gills, and all those gill filaments want to turn and push the wrong way. And it's really not particularly beneficial. It's not efficient at getting oxygen in them. It's not that beneficial. The fish actually, by opening and closing his mouth and opening and closing his gills, will push water through. If you just hold that fish upright so that he can breathe on his own. If you see those gills open and close, and if you see the mouth open and close at all, let him do it. It's going to take a hair longer, but you owe it to that fish. Let him sit there. Let him get himself collected, get himself together. As long as he's doing any kind of breathing, you're definitely helping that fish. If there is current, if you're releasing a trout and you're in moving water, always face that fish into the current so that the current's coming in his mouth and going out the gills. Let him get himself collected and get a little oxygen in his system, disperse some lactic acid. Once he's ready to go, he doesn't want you holding on to him. So as soon as he's ready to go, he's going to let you know. He's going to take off, might splash you in the face a little bit, but you got a photo, hopefully. Off she goes. Fish is good, you're good, everybody's good. This has been Tip Tuesday. I'm the Multifarious Fisherman. Thanks for joining us.